I think what makes a really, really great brief is when the client is absolutely clear about what the problem is and what their problem is, rather than a generic industry problem, but what's the problem that's specific to them that they're trying to solve. And secondly, that they're really, really honest about the objective of the campaign and what the KPIs are, because quite often clients will, of course, when they're talking about a partnership, talk about brand matrix, brand awareness, brand love, when deep down somewhere in the organisation, people want sales, and that's what they're going to measure, direct sales. So if that's the case, that's fine. We've got a range of products that can deliver a really nice blend. But if you're honest at the beginning of the campaign about the objectives and the KPIs, the campaign is much more likely to be a success.
For us, working with Voxy, we knew that Heat was the perfect partner because we both wanted to speak to the audience that were engaged in Love Island, and it meant that we could then come up with some content that they genuinely wanted to watch. So it didn't feel like it was branded content, it was just brilliant content, and that was a weekly social companion show. In terms of how we measured how far we could push the brand without losing the audience, for us and for the relationship between Heat and Voxy, it was perfectly natural because there was a real synergy between the way both brands spoke to that audience and indeed how Love Island spoke to the audience. So within our show Under the Duvet, it meant that the host could actually start the show by saying, Voxy, 100% R-type on paper, or this week we're coupling up with Voxy, which is part of the Love Island vernacular, and it just felt really authentic and natural to the show.
So our Future London initiative works as a multi-platform content campaigning series where we go out and we work with brands who share that same vision in wanting to make a positive difference to the lives of Londoners. Uber has made a very clear statement about turning their fleet electric in the next 5 years, and Source, our other partner, is responsible for implementing the electrical charging points for cars across London. So by having that genuine shared value within that space, you know, all of our content is very clearly branded. So this creates a much more deeper level of engagement with our audience because they understand the commercial nature of the partnership, but they also recognize that there's a very clear commitment by both brand and publisher to creating positive social change within this space.
It's about, is that content relevant to the reader? So dependent on the brand, that will depend how much you can push brand specifics within any piece of content.
Our commercial journalists have a real gut instinct when it comes to this. But it also depends on the brand or the product, for example, as well as the price point. If, say, there was a new beauty product that was about to launch in the UK and it had extraordinary benefits, then that's something that would be an article in itself. But if we're writing content for, say, a utilities company, then we'd probably focus less on the price point and more about finding a connection that had a real emotional hook for our readers.